Hey, what's up, guys? I decided to make another video, this time on the anime Newgate. I got it recommended to me a few days ago, so after I finished Sword Art Online, I was like, looking for something to watch, something, like 12 episodes I could get through, and I decided to check this one out. It was between this and, I forget the name, I forget the name, the other name of the other anime, but, um, I decided to check this out. It had a similar story to Sword Art Online, and I do think they did their own stuff with it. They did, but it felt like, especially like the first episode, probably felt a bit like, I don't know what's the word. I don't know. It felt like Sword Art Online, like a lesser version of that, just because like, okay, we're trapped in this game. It's a death game. I'm gonna defeat the final boss, and I don't think anyone ever really, they don't explain, like they sent Shin to defeat the final boss. I wonder why that is. I don't know if that gets explained. Probably because he was the most powerful, but I just think that was kind of weird that they sent him by himself to do that. So anyway, he defeats the demon guy, and everyone gets logged out except for him. And I want to mention this because I thought that this was cool. This is just a small detail, but I thought it was cool when he was looking at his, like, the list of people that were logged in. It was a scroll. I just thought that was cool. Like, I know that's kind of stupid, but I thought it was cool. Um yeah, so everyone gets logged out except for him. Or that's what you're supposed to think until the last episode they tell you like there's other people, but um so then he comes back 500 years in the future. And I did think that was interesting. Once again, that reminded me of Alicization, like where they left off, where it was like, what skips. You can see how the world is different. And, like, once again, we really don't see anything about the world, um, like, from before he spends 500 years or whatever. So I'm wondering like how much it changed like visually. Because it's still like the setting, medieval fantasy setting. But I thought that it was really interesting how they explained it. I do love that idea of like things lost to time. Like nobody knows what happened to these people. They think they gone extinct. Like shit like that is pretty interesting, and a very good premise. Just something I'm automatically into. Um, so I was interested, and as the show went on, I think it got better and better. I think like I still did like all the episodes. I feel like they took too long for what the fuck's her name? Shisa or something like that. The guy's like elf companion like to come back. Um, I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know, but it was like, oh, he's trying to contact her because she's the only one that's still alive, and well, that's the one he knows is still alive, and you know, it's like, okay, and then he talks to her apprentice, he cures her. Um, she's cool. I like her as a character. It was fun. She's a fun character. Uh, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll send you this letter. Send it to her, and then she'll come back." The way she was acting, like with shit, like she was so excited to see him and everything, she was a little hurt. But like, I just felt like when she heard, like immediately, like they show you her reaction, like, "Oh my god, it's Shin," but like then it's like I feel like if things were that like if you were waiting for him for that long and all this shit, you would have immediately went to him. It's like, okay, let me finish my job first. Which I mean, maybe because it was important and it was saving people's lives. I just think like I don't know. I guess that's like a selfish thing. Um, and she's a good, good person, good character. Um, I just felt like that was a little bit, and it just took too long. They did introduce new characters, and I think that they were cool. I love the other adventurer guy, the guy with like no fucking shirt on. Um, he's pretty cool. I love that kind of like friendship they got going on. I love some shit like that. Like but it was good. They had good chemistry. Um, I'm glad he revealed like his origin to him, so that he knows. Because I thought that like there was gonna be a secret. I hope like the whole world never figures it out, but I do think like there are some people I want to see learn about it. Maybe like the princess or something like that. But um, yeah, so that's pretty much, it took her a couple episodes to get in, and then when she gets in, it's revealed that she reveals that um, she was waiting for him, and they had this really good scene, and it was like there wasn't any mention of romance on the thing, so I was like, oh, I guess there's not going to be any, but there, it's just it's a part of it anyway. But they had really good chemistry, and I really liked what they did with that, and I liked how they explained, like, the last episode. I think really like went someplace I wasn't expecting. Like towards the end, I'm like, okay, so the story's over now. I probably not gonna get a season two. I'd like it, but probably not. Let me see. Like, okay, so this is just some ending type stuff. But then they like throw a whole bunch of things on the table that that Shin's, I guess, I don't know, like love interest or girlfriend or whatever died. I think her name's like Marianne or some shit like that. And like, if Shin was still in love with her, and what he thought and all that, and she can and she the elf girl, the old elf girl, I can't remember her name. It's like SHU, I don't know, but her confesses, I'm in love with you and I won't give up until, you know, we're together, I guess, or something. But then he's like thinking at the end, all these other, because they reveal all these other players are alive, and um, and she was hiding it from him. And at first, I didn't completely understand what they were saying. Like she hid something from him, but I didn't know what it was. It was just me probably not understanding, but I was like, but then towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, so they're saying, like, there's all these player killers still around, and some other players are still around. So it's like, what the fuck have they been doing? Which I'm interested in learning about that, which I probably won't because they don't got probably don't got season two. I don't know. I've been reading a little bit of manga recently, so I might do that. But I thought that was like something like they just shoved on at the end, and I think that they did need to shove on something like that because at this point they show the guy's like powerful, like he's very powerful, and that's like the whole point. I do like that. I like characters who are just OP, come in, beat the shit out of people, no issue. And when he's has to hide his strength and he's doing all that, it's still cool. But I'm interested. Like I was just real. That was something where it's like I wish we got a season like that to deal with some of that stuff, because it was mostly like, okay, I want to figure out what happened. But then they don't really do anything with that. It's like, okay, I want to go here, and then he gets there. So like I don't know. The only movement at like with the storyline of, oh, I'm gonna go home, is that he figures out other players are there. So that's pretty much it. But that's like a main point of what he wants to do. I think like for that being the main thing, it just kind of like, obviously you can't do it because he wants to go home. So if he gets it, he's gonna go home. But um, which I thought was like, well, I don't know. You don't know what his home life was like and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like if I was there, I kind of stay. Like maybe not. I don't know. But it's when when the elf girl's like, oh, are you gonna go back when you can? And he's just like, yes. Like, damn, that share. You see that hurt her feelings a little bit. Um, like I said, I thought nothing was gonna happen between those two until the end. Oh, I forgot. She kissed him. She kissed him on the lips too. On the lips at the end. Said I love you. I kissed him on the lips. And I do want to talk about the ending because I thought that was like that just like threw it out there at the very end. They like because in the middle of the episode or beginning or something they mention, how there are other players and player killers in there and stuff like that. And I guess he thought that they were dead. Um, so I'm kind of so he thinks Marianne might be alive. I'm hoping she's dead. I know that sounds fucked up, but like I just think that that's more interesting. Like, because she comes back, she's not gonna be like for the guy. Like, she's either gonna be like a twist villain, she's changed, she's doing this, that, whatever. Because they don't set up these, like the elf girl and him, and kind of push it so hard just to be like, never mind. So I just hope that it's kind of like that, and it's interesting hearing, how he lost himself. That's why they didn't tell him because he, you know, uh, kind of went psycho on their asses, which you see a little bit in one of the episodes where they're going with the traveling caravan. I mean, I kind of wish to see him like lose it, like go out and lose it. Not even like super power up, but just like beat the shit out of people type stuff. Um, so I just think that I'm hoping that's not what they do. I feel like that's maybe what they're gonna do is that Marianne's still alive, but I just feel like it's better for the story and for the character if she just if she I know it sounds super fucked up, but it's like it's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes I'll hear about something, I'm like, I don't know, but then I see it and I'm like, okay, that's good. But I thought that that was really interesting how they just added that in there, and because we don't hear much about Shin, what he did before the 500 years. Like how long was he in the game? Um, you learn about his, I guess, party members or something, support characters, which I guess reminds me of like Overlord, where they created these characters. So it's kind of like I was a little confused on what they meant by that exactly, um, and what they could feel and what they couldn't feel. Like I mean, like in the sense of like emotionally, because it's the elf girl mentions a few times, oh, I felt, I wasn't as connected as I am now. So I couldn't go back to you, being all alone and depressed and, angry, uh, at the people at these PKers. So it was like, okay, but she said something like I was disconnected. I wasn't as like, but I couldn't handle it now. So I'm just kind of wondering like how much did like what was the it seems like they were all friends and stuff like that, like they were friends and they cared about each other, but I'm just wondering, um was it like after the 500 years that's when they kind of became like independent but they still cared about him? I don't know, that was something I was wondering, because they mentioned that a few times, and it's like it's interesting that it's like player support characters like that they created, it's not just a random thing. But yeah, so he has his friend, his other friend die. I forget his name, but I was about to say the monkey guy. He's not a fucking monkey. He's like a wolf. And he's like, "Oh, have a final fight with me. Go all out." So that's like kind of one of the few moments you kind of see him go all out, but not really, because then at the end, he's like, you were holding out on me, weren't you?" And then he reveals like his power, like which is like some Super Saiyan shit. That's what it looks like. And then but he doesn't do anything with it. He just shows him, and then the guy dies with a smile on his face. And I think that was done pretty well because like for a few episodes, like okay, we're on our way to meet him. He'll be excited to see you. He was waiting for you too. But I mean, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, um, for them to like have moved on, because it seems like if they knew exactly what was going on, like I think like he mentions it that it was a game, like and stuff like that, and they seem like they knew. Um, then I'm just wondering how much like if they knew like, oh, when he defeats this, they're gonna all be able to leave. So it was like I feel like it's a little weird to be like, okay, I'm gonna wander around looking for him, because it just seems like, if you knew that, it'd just be like, why are you doing that? Because this was the end goal anyway. So yeah. So anyway, so 500 years passes, all that shit is going on. Uh, the world feels real. I think that it kind of like I guess like when they beat it or when they were saving or whatever, it seems like after they beat it, the world became more real. Like I said, with the emotions and stuff, but um, I don't know. There's a lot of mysteries in this world, and like I said, I do really like the missing history and missing pieces, and people know vaguely of Shin. Oh, and he's a blacksmith. I thought that that was cool. Because it's something different. Uh, he like builds stuff and he does all that, and I think a lot of main characters don't do that, but like I mean like especially in fantasy and stuff like that. I feel like that's not as much of a thing. So I thought that that was pretty cool when you see him build stuff and he's making all these swords and like stuff like that. So I thought that that was cool. Um, and then they have the shop which was, like, I thought that was cool. I love when they move the houses around. I just find that yeah, that's interesting because you could just move wherever. They also did it in Chilling with super, level 2 super cheat powers. They did that. Um, okay, let me think here. Uh, I can't think of too much else because that's pretty much it. Like, it's like a kind of a through line. I'm interested to see where it would go. Because I do think that, like, especially at the end, like, I feel like if they ended it where they ended it, it would obviously be unresolved, but they just added more stuff in right at the tail end, like, teasing you with some stuff. Like, we didn't know about any of these people, really. Like, he mentioned, he was with his friends and all that, but we didn't know about their support characters. We didn't know about them. So it was like, oh, this was my friend's support character. So it was just something where I was like, okay, so we're getting a little bit of backstory with that. I felt like they were almost like kind of ignoring it, like the original stuff, just to move on to like, okay, this is a new world, not a new world, but it's like 500 years in the future. It's different. So yeah, it just really throwing that stuff at the end was pretty. I don't know. It made it more interesting, but it also made me a little like annoyed because it's like we're probably not gonna get a season 2. But I think it was worth it because like, at least she like, the elf girl expressed her feelings for him and kissed him, which I wasn't expecting. I just felt like that shit was never gonna happen. And also they do really good. The princess is pretty cool. At first I wasn't sure about her, but she's pretty awesome. I like his like fox thing. She's cute. I love when they do the little eyebrows or like circles or like little ovals. I don't know. I find it super cute. Um, then they also have that wolf guy. Not guy. He's just like a wolf. Um, but I thought all that was pretty good. Obviously, you gotta have an animal companion. Um, and just like the group that's going adventuring, I think is pretty good. But like I said, they're not gonna do this because once again they never do this. But like they have like a whole like I think every single one of the characters like I kind of could see the guy ending up with, and I would like it. But also it's like got to be the original the elf girl. But it's like with her apprentice, there's a really good chemistry there. With the princess, there's really good chemistry. I guess with the with the clerk ladies, that would be I wouldn't like that actually. Like it seems like they're kind of interested in him and whatever, but so I just I don't know. I was just kind of it was pretty good. It was enjoyable. Um, I'm definitely looking for some more stuff like this, so I'll probably watch the other anime next. And let me know what you thought of it. If you thought it was good, um, or whatever. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Maybe it is getting a season 2. Maybe something is continuing. I don't know, but I thought it was a overall good story. Definitely worth a watch. But not like a masterpiece, perfect in my opinion. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was good. I don't want to say like, oh, it was just like it was mediocre. No, it was good. It was good. Um, and you're interested to see more, but you probably won't. So, yeah, like I said, that's pretty much it. Actually, I want to show off something real quick. With Crunchyroll, when you've been when I bought stuff, you get like 100. If you spend over $100, you get like an extra like $10 gift sent to you like separately. And I got both of these with like the Sword Art Online stuff. I got this One Piece figure pin. Let's see if you can see it there. And which I was a little disappointed in because I've literally like watched maybe like the first 20 episodes of One Piece like 5 years ago. And then I got the Demon Slayer Inosuke, which I've seen this guy around, but I've never seen Demon Slayer. So I was a little disappointed, honestly. I was like, damn, it's like nothing I've seen. But, Demon Slayer is supposed to be really good. So, um, yeah, sorry for rambling, but I just wanted to show that off. That's about it. Peace.